If everything needs a cause, then who created God? Seems like a simple question, doesn't it? But the truth is that this question has kept philosophers, scientists, skeptics, and even people of faith awake for generations. After all, if absolutely everything that exists had a beginning, had an origin, wouldn't it be logical to believe that God would also need an origin? And what if I told you that this question hides one of the greatest logical mistakes humanity has ever made? And more, that understanding this will not only change how you see God, but also how you see yourself, your existence, and even your future. Picture this scene. Someone looks at you and says with full conviction, God created everything. And then, almost reflexively, you ask, okay, but who created God? And then silence takes over. Because this is not just a question, it's a provocation that divides opinions, sparks heated debates, deconstructs beliefs, and for many even seems like proof that God is just an invention of faith. But is that really the case? Or is there an answer so logical, so powerful, and so irrefutable that maybe you've never even stopped to think about it? If you're someone who searches for answers most people avoid, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps this content reach those who really need it. And I guarantee you, what I am about to reveal in this video will make you see everything in a way no one has ever explained before. And this is exactly where most people get stuck, as if standing before a puzzle where no matter how many pieces they fit together, there's always one left, the hardest one, the most uncomfortable one, the one no one really wants to face. Because when you claim that everything needs a cause, you're thrown straight into the greatest philosophical problem of all time, infinite regression. And do you know why? Imagine right now a huge, endless row of dominoes. For the last domino to fall, the one before it had to fall. And for that one to fall, the one before it had to fall. And so on successively in a chain that, if there was never a first domino, this simply would never have started. This isn't just a cute metaphor. It's a logical, irrefutable, and extremely uncomfortable truth for anyone who believes that everything must necessarily have a cause. If there is no first domino, no other domino could fall. Simple as that. And here's a reality check. If absolutely everything needed a cause, you wouldn't be here listening to me right now. This video wouldn't exist. Planet Earth wouldn't have come into being, and the universe itself wouldn't exist. Because if there were an infinite regression of causes, we would never arrive at the present moment. And here comes a question that, honestly, very few people have the courage to answer sincerely. Do you really think that makes any sense? That everything, absolutely everything, must have a cause to the point where we fall into this eternal, impossible, and illogical cycle of dominoes that never started falling? And hey, drop a comment down below if you're following this line of thinking so far. Write the word domino in the comments, so I know who is really open-minded and willing to go deep in this conversation until the end. Because I guarantee you, what's coming next is even deeper. And this is exactly where one of the most crucial points comes in, one that almost nobody honestly talks about. If something exists today, and clearly we exist, this is only possible because at some point, something, or rather, someone, had to be eternal. This isn't just a religious belief, it's not just an opinion of Christians trying to defend their faith. This is, above all, a logical, mathematical, philosophical, and even scientific necessity. Because if there is not something that depends on nothing to exist, something that had no beginning, that was not caused, that simply exists by itself, then nothing, absolutely nothing, could exist now. And do you realize how this isn't just a discussion about God? This is a discussion about reality itself, about existence, about the reason why you breathe, why you think, and why you're here listening to this. And if you think this is just religious talk, you're mistaken, because even modern cosmology, physics, mathematics, all these fields point, directly or indirectly, to the same need. Something must be eternal, or else nothing makes sense. Now maybe you're asking yourself, okay, but what if that eternal something is the universe itself? And this is where it gets even more interesting, because science itself, yes, modern science, has already ruled out that possibility. And I'm going to prove it to you, Did you know that the universe is expanding? This isn't just some random theory. It's an observed, measured, and confirmed fact. And if it's expanding, that means that at some point in the past it was smaller. And if we rewind that expansion back in time, do you know where it leads? To a point of origin. A moment when everything began. And there's more. The universe has finite energy. And here's a simple analogy that anyone can understand. Imagine the universe as a car. If the fuel tank is running low, if it's burning energy, then it's obvious there was a moment when that tank was full. And if the tank today is half full, mustn't, or half empty, depending on how you look at it, that only means one thing. The car hasn't been running forever. There was a moment when someone turned the key. There was a beginning. If the universe were eternal, its energy would have been completely depleted trillions and trillions of years ago. We wouldn't be here. Not you, not me, not anyone, not anything. And if you think that doesn't make sense, then answer me this. How can something be burning energy for an infinite number of billions of years without ever having started? It's simply impossible. Thermodynamics itself, the very laws that govern the universe, scream this truth right in our faces. The universe cannot be eternal. And if that's not enough to flip your mental switch, look, drop the word universe down here in the comments so I know who is really paying attention and understanding the weight of all this. Just write universe. And hold on tight, because this conversation is just getting started. Now pay very close attention, because this is the point where almost every debate gets stuck. There is a gigantic, colossal difference between contingent things and a necessary cause. And understanding this completely changes everything. Contingent things are everything that depends on something else to exist. People, planets, stars, galaxies, even the universe itself. All of it is contingent. It could have not existed, and it exists because something or someone caused it to exist. But a necessary cause is completely different. It depends on absolutely nothing. It wasn't created. It has always existed, and it cannot not exist. It simply is. And this is exactly where the concept of God comes to the table, not as some simple religious belief, but as a logical, mathematical, and philosophical requirement of existence itself. Because if everything that is contingent needs a cause, then only a necessary cause could have brought everything into existence. And this cause, by definition, does not need an origin, because it is the origin. And maybe right now your mind is already starting to grasp the weight of this conversation, because you know what? Asking who created God starts from a logical error. It's like asking, what is the sound of silence, or what exists north of the North Pole? It simply doesn't make sense because God, as a necessary cause, does not exist within time, space, or any of the limitations that govern everything that is created. And that brings us to a point that most people have never heard, but it completely changes the game. God created time itself. Yes, He created time. He does not exist inside of time. He is not trapped in the past, the present, or the future. That's something for creation, not for the Creator. And here comes the most mind-blowing part. If God created time, then the question who came before God makes absolutely no sense, because for the one who created time, there is no such thing as before, after, now. All of that belongs to those who live inside the cosmic clock, and God doesn't live in it. God is. Do you see how this completely changes your perspective? Because this isn't some religious excuse. This is pure logic. It's existential mathematics. And more, it's theology applied to real life. God is not only outside of time, He is outside of everything you understand as limitation. And this concept in theology has a powerful name, aseity. Write that word down because it carries an enormous weight. God possesses aseity. That means He exists by Himself. He depends on nothing, on no one, on no condition, on no universe, on no reality. He simply is. He always was. He always will be. He was never created. He will never end. He has never needed anything external to exist. If this is already making you think differently, then get ready. Because now it's not just logic speaking. The very Word of God has recorded this so clearly, so directly, that it's impossible to ignore. In the book of Psalms, chapter 90, verse 2, it is written, From eternity to eternity, you are God. Read that again. Let it sink in. From eternity to eternity, you are God. This isn't just beautiful poetry. This is a direct, undeniable declaration that God had no beginning. He will have no end, and he will never need a cause. Because he is the very cause of everything. And now the question I have for you is direct. No sugarcoating. If you don't believe that God is eternal, then tell me honestly, in your view, what is eternal? Matter, energy, chance, the void. The universe itself, which we've already proven here, cannot be eternal, because whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, every single one of us is forced to face this truth. Something has to be eternal. And if you've made it this far, I have no doubt it wasn't by accident. Maybe somewhere in the middle of this conversation, you felt something different. Maybe your heart tightened, your mind opened, or that soft yet firm voice inside you whispered, I am here. Because when we search for the truth, God always finds a way to meet us along the path. And if that voice spoke to you today, if you felt God touching your heart while listening to this video, then do not ignore it. Hit the like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Because this isn't just about watching a video, it's about walking closer to the truth, to the light, and to the Word of God. And do one more thing. Drop a comment down below saying, I love the Bible, so I know who stayed until the very end, who loves the truth, and who, like me, is here to learn and grow in faith. And look, if you thought this video was powerful, get ready, because what's coming next is simply mind-blowing. It is showing right there on your screen, 9 shocking facts you never knew about Satan. And I guarantee you, you will never see this enemy the same way again after watching. Click it and I'll see you there. And look,